loneliness is the only way to create something. It works this way. When a person has a lot of distractions, notifications on their phone calls, other people, some pointless plans, the person's focus, which could be a beam lighting up the future, turns into a dim household light bulb that barely illuminates the surrounding space. It's necessary to clear the informational and material space from anything unnecessary and start focusing solely on yourself. You need to see only yourself in this life. It's a one-on-one battle with yourself. And when you begin focusing on yourself, you start seeing yourself as you truly are, with maximum honesty. When you realize that other people don't exist and it's just you, you'll start understanding that there's no one to lie to. And when there's no one to lie to, you'll see yourself in all your imperfection. This opens the opportunity to not feel sorry for yourself. Self-pity arises when you start to get distracted, when you start to justify yourself and invent excuses. You start to create for the sake of others, not for yourself. To truly focus on yourself, you need to be obsessed with yourself. If you're not obsessed with yourself, you won't love yourself. The way to love yourself is through hatred, by seeing your own imperfections, your arrogance, your unreliability, and soft-heartedness, which you should work on, and then you will begin to appreciate yourself. You'll put so much work into getting out of that state of insignificance that you'll have a reason to love yourself. Focus solely on yourself, clear the space, and start thinking about yourself all the time. No one else exists. If someone doesn't buy from you, it's not because the customer is an idiot, it's because you can't sell. If you don't train, it's not because you're tired or have no time. Just be honest with yourself, admit your flaws, and then work to overcome them. It's important to understand that in order to create, you need a clean informational and material space. Keep your desk tidy. The messier the desk or phone, the less free space there is for new tasks or structuring existing ones. Clean the phone by deleting all the old messages, photos, and notes. If it's hard to delete, store them on a flash drive, but out of sight. This decluttering gives a sense of liberation that you wouldn't otherwise experience. If you can't clear your physical space, at least clear your mental one. Reframe your thinking. Recognize the utility of what's there. Utility isn't about interesting facts, it's about what improves your life. If you're reading something and not applying it, there's no value in it. You can be sucked into unnecessary distractions, wasting your time with no gain. If you don't clear the clutter from your life, you'll feel like you're aging. When I started decluttering, the freedom and lightness I felt were tremendous. It was liberating. I felt more energetic, youthful, and ready to take on new challenges. Decluttering isn't only about physical items. It can be about emotional baggage or toxic people. You can declutter emotionally by distancing yourself from negative influences. If someone adds negativity to your life, it's best to let them go. If you clean your physical and emotional space, you'll feel liberated and more in control of your life. The process of decluttering and focusing on yourself isn't just about having an organized environment. It's about creating the mental and emotional capacity to focus on what truly matters to you. This can be a profound shift in how you approach life, allowing you to live more intentionally and with greater clarity. The key to success and happiness in life boils down to a single principle. When you're faced with a situation where you feel devalued or insignificant, the only way forward is to take action and achieve something tangible to increase your value. When setbacks occur, whether in your personal or professional life, the temptation to rationalize or make excuses is strong. You might find yourself blaming external factors or other people, but this is a trap. True success and happiness come from accepting responsibility for your life and using setbacks as fuel for growth. If you're rejected, if you fail, if you're humiliated, don't waste time dwelling on it or blaming others. Instead, take a hard look at the reality of your situation, find out where you can improve, and then put in the work to create results. This isn't about making excuses or justifying your actions. It's about facing the truth head on and using it to push yourself to be better. Think about the times when you've felt overlooked or unappreciated. These moments can be deeply discouraging, but they can also be the catalyst for significant change. When you're feeling low, it's time to double down on your efforts. Success isn't handed out. It's earned through persistence, hard work, and an unyielding commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. If you encounter a challenge or setback, it's crucial to maintain a growth mindset. Don't let negativity pull you down. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do to turn the situation around? Use each obstacle as an opportunity to prove your worth, not just to others, but to yourself. The process of personal growth and success is not linear. It takes time, effort, and a lot of failures along the way. But remember, every failure is a lesson in disguise. The key is to embrace these lessons and use them as stepping stones towards success. It's easy to blame circumstances or people when things go wrong. It's even easier to complain about the things that are beyond your control. But success and happiness come from focusing on what you can control and working relentlessly to improve yourself. If you're struggling with a lack of motivation, a sense of aimlessness, or a general feeling of unhappiness, the solution is to take action. Do something productive, whether it's learning a new skill, hitting the gym, or working on a project that brings you joy. Every small step you take toward improving yourself builds momentum and creates a positive feedback loop that can transform your life. Success and happiness are not destinations. They are ongoing processes that require constant effort and self-reflection. To truly achieve these things, you need to cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges and uses them as opportunities for growth. In moments of difficulty, focus on the things that make you stronger. Whether it's physical exercise, learning something new, or simply spending time with people who inspire you, these activities create positive energy that can help you overcome any obstacle. Remember, every successful person has faced setbacks and failures. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from those experiences and use them to propel themselves forward. If you can develop this mindset, you'll find that success and happiness are within your reach. To summarize, the secret to success and happiness is to face adversity with a proactive attitude. When you're knocked down, don't stay down. Get up, dust yourself off, and use the experience to become better. Focus on what you can control, put in the work, and keep pushing forward. With this approach, you'll find that the journey to success and happiness is not only possible, but also deeply fulfilling. In life, there's a widespread misconception that success is difficult because the journey is arduous and filled with obstacles. However, the truth is often quite different. The reason life feels tough is because the reward isn't motivating enough or you lack a clear path to achieving it. This creates an illusion of difficulty. The reality, which is often counterintuitive, is that it's easier to work hard and give your best effort when you're pursuing a significant, ambitious goal rather than a mediocre one. If you're working on something that doesn't ignite your passion, it's much harder to push yourself. You might find yourself struggling with motivation, dragging through the day, and unable to maintain the energy needed for success. But when you set your sights on a grand vision, your mind becomes engaged, and you find yourself willing to go to great lengths to achieve it. Consider the motivational force of a lofty goal. Aiming for something substantial, something that seems almost out of reach, can be far more energizing than a smaller, more attainable target. The brain responds to challenge and the promise of reward, even if that reward seems distant. It's about seeing a star in the sky and deciding to reach for it, even if it means risking failure along the way. As Mike Tyson famously said, "I'm a big dreamer, and I want to reach for the stars. Even if I don't make it, at least my hands will end up in the clouds." When you pursue ambitious goals, you don't need as much discipline or motivation because your innate drive kicks in. The excitement of working towards something extraordinary generates its own energy. You don't have to force yourself to work hard. Your natural instincts take over, guiding you toward success. This is why understanding your own internal monkey is crucial. Constructing a life where your actions align with natural instincts with an eye on resourcefulness and social dominance can lead to boundless energy and enthusiasm. Many people struggle with mundane tasks because they lack a compelling reason to keep going. This leads to feelings of drudgery and a sense of aimlessness. In contrast, when you're on a mission, when you're chasing something big, your brain is naturally wired to keep you engaged. It becomes less about willpower and more about finding the intrinsic reward in your efforts. The key is to create conditions in your life that make hard work and effort feel natural. When you're working towards something significant, the path becomes clearer and you start to see progress. This progress, no matter how small, creates a feedback loop that reinforces your desire to continue. When the reward is clear, when the target is ambitious enough to excite you, the journey feels less like a burden and more like an adventure. So, how do you turn mundane tasks into something that drives you? The secret lies in connecting your actions to something meaningful. Whether it's a long-term goal or a significant challenge, find a reason that compels you to act. It's not about finding the easy way out. It's about creating an environment where your actions are intrinsically rewarding. This approach is the opposite of the traditional mindset that relies on discipline and willpower. Instead of forcing yourself to work hard, create a structure where success feels natural. Align your actions with your inner desires, and you'll find that motivation becomes less of an issue. Think about it this way. Children love to run and play, but if you force them to do it in a structured environment, it becomes a chore. The same principle applies to adults. When you're doing something because you have to, it feels like an obligation. But when you're pursuing something because you genuinely want it, the work becomes enjoyable and success follows naturally. If you're facing challenges in life, if you find yourself struggling with motivation, it's time to reevaluate your goals. Are you aiming high enough? Are you setting your sights on something that excites you? If not, it's time to adjust your trajectory and reach for the stars. The journey towards success and happiness isn't about grinding through tough times. It's about finding a reason to keep going. When you have a compelling reason, everything else falls into place. You don't have to force yourself to work hard. The drive comes from within. And when that happens, success is no longer a distant dream. It becomes a reality that you can reach, one step at a time. Many of us construct a comforting narrative in our minds, convincing ourselves that the constant chatter and mental gymnastics we engage in will somehow shield us from the harsh realities of life. We tell ourselves that as long as we keep thinking, analyzing, and planning, we'll be safe from life's unpredictable blows. But here's the hard truth. No matter how fast or complex our thoughts are, they can't protect us from the real world. It's as if we believe that by keeping our minds busy, we can avoid the pain of life's inevitable struggles. But the speed and volume of our thoughts have no bearing on the reality that a proverbial brick could fall from the sky at any moment. No amount of overthinking can stop a bomb from falling or a storm from raging. It's a futile exercise to believe that our internal monologue can somehow shield us from adversity. When we find ourselves overwhelmed by life's challenges, the instinct is often to talk our way through them, to keep our minds busy with endless mental chatter. We think that if we just keep talking, the pain won't be as sharp. But this constant inner noise prevents us from truly experiencing and processing the difficult moments in our lives. It dulls the pain, but it also dulls the growth that comes from fully confronting our struggles. Instead of allowing ourselves to feel the full impact of a loss, a failure, or a disappointment, we distract ourselves with thoughts, activities, and rationalizations. But true resilience comes from the ability to sit in silence, to let the weight of our experiences sink in, and to fully understand the depth of our emotions. It's only when we allow ourselves to truly feel the pain that we can move past it and start to heal. Think of the times when you've experienced a major setback, a breakup, a job loss, a betrayal. It's tempting to fill the void with noise, to replay old memories, or to keep yourself busy with anything that distracts from the pain. But this avoidance strategy only delays the inevitable. The longer you resist feeling the hurt, the longer it takes to heal. The key to moving forward is to stop avoiding the uncomfortable truths of life. Sit with the pain. Allow yourself to feel it fully without judgment or distraction. This might mean spending time alone, away from the constant noise of social media and other distractions. It might mean confronting the harsh realities of your past or acknowledging the mistakes you've made. The process of facing reality can be excruciating, but it's necessary for growth. The more you avoid the pain, the more it lingers in the background, affecting your decisions and shaping your worldview. When you finally sit with the discomfort, you begin to see it for what it is, a temporary state that, once fully experienced, loses its power over you. It's also important to recognize that pretending to be someone you're not is exhausting. If you're constantly trying to project an image of strength or success, you'll find it difficult to truly enjoy the moments of real success that do come your way. Pretending to be something you're not robs you of the joy that comes from genuine achievement. When you pretend to be strong, even when you're not, you never allow yourself to celebrate your victories because they feel hollow. To live a fulfilling life, you must embrace your weaknesses, accept your fears, and confront the uncomfortable truths of your existence. It's not about being perfect or always having it together. It's about acknowledging that life is unpredictable, that pain is part of the journey, and that the only way to truly live is to face it head on. The courage to face reality comes from letting go of the need to control everything. You can't predict the future, and you can't change the past, but you can choose how you respond to the present. By letting go of the illusion of control, you free yourself to experience life as it is, not as you wish it to be. In conclusion, stop pretending that constant mental chatter will keep you safe. It won't. Stop avoiding the pain of life's challenges. It only makes things worse in the long run. Instead, embrace the discomfort, face the reality of your situation, and allow yourself to grow through the struggle. When you do this, you'll find that the fear and anxiety that once held you back start to lose their grip, and you can finally begin to live a life that's true to who you are. The idea that you're able to stay positive, upbeat, and full of energy while constantly interacting with people who have no interest in growing stronger is not just naive, it's dangerous. It's a self-deception. When you surround yourself with people who are content with mediocrity or who don't aspire to achieve more, it's almost inevitable that you'll start to adopt their mindset. They act like gravity, pulling you down to their level. To feel truly vibrant and positive, you need to be around people who are also striving for greatness, seeking strength, and working toward their goals. Only then will you have the energy and enthusiasm to pursue your own aspirations. This requires drawing a clear line between yourself and those who hold you back. If you're unable to create this boundary, if you find it too difficult or emotionally taxing, then you're admitting that you belong with them. You belong among those who aren't reaching for more. This demarcation is not about abandoning people or turning your back on them. It's about recognizing that you cannot thrive in an environment that doesn't support your growth. The harsh truth is that many of us find it hard to let go of the people and situations that are familiar, even when they stifle our growth. It's comfortable, it's known, and it's what we've always done. But if you want to live a life that's vibrant and full of energy, you have to embrace a mindset of zero tolerance for mediocrity. That means making tough choices about who you spend your time with and where you direct your energy. The decision to walk away from mediocrity is one of the most challenging but necessary steps you can take. It might mean distancing yourself from people you care about or stepping away from environments that feel safe but ultimately drain your energy. This is the initiation process, choosing a path of strength which requires leaving behind the comfort of the status quo. The process isn't about becoming wealthy or achieving some arbitrary measure of success. It's about being able to live your life with integrity and enthusiasm. It's about being able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you are working toward your fullest potential. To get there, you need to surround yourself with people who share your vision, who push you to be better, and who inspire you to keep going. We all know people who seem to have given up on their dreams, who go through life just to get by. They are the ones who take the easy route, who settle for whatever life hands them, and who discourage others from reaching for more. If you choose to stay in that environment, you will become like them. But if you want to break free, you must be willing to walk a different path. This isn't an easy decision, and it doesn't happen overnight. It requires a radical shift in how you view yourself and the world around you. You must be willing to let go of old habits, relationships, and ways of thinking that keep you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. It's not about being cruel or unkind. It's about choosing to live a life that's true to your potential. One of the most common traps people fall into is the belief that they can balance both worlds. They think they can keep their old friends and habits while pursuing a life of growth and success. But this is a delusion. You can't serve two masters. To truly embrace a life of strength, you must be willing to burn bridges and cut ties with anything that holds you back. It's not about being radical for the sake of it. It's about recognizing that you cannot grow in a toxic environment. If you choose to take the easy path, if you choose comfort over growth, you will end up like those who are content with mediocrity. You will never achieve the life you truly want. But if you're willing to embrace the discomfort, to step into the unknown, and to surround yourself with people who challenge you, you will find a path that leads to true fulfillment. The road to strength and success is narrow and requires discipline, focus, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. It's not for everyone, but if you're tired of living a life that feels hollow and unsatisfying, it's the only path worth taking. When you make this choice, you might lose friends, you might alienate family members, you might feel isolated and alone. But remember, the best things in life are often the most challenging to obtain. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to make the tough decisions, you will find that the rewards are worth the struggle. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, and who are also seeking strength. By doing this, you create a supportive environment that fosters growth and success. It's not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about choosing a tribe that shares your values and goals. Ultimately, the decision is yours. You can choose to live a life that is comfortable and safe, or you can choose to pursue a life that's filled with energy, purpose, and strength. The journey will be difficult, but the rewards are immeasurable. Choose wisely, because the path you choose will determine the quality of your life. The clock is ticking. Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. It's easy to say you'll do something tomorrow, next week, or next year, but what happens if tomorrow never comes? What happens if the right time never arrives? If you're not living for today, you're not really living at all. We all fall into the trap of thinking we have plenty of time. I'll start my new workout routine on Monday. I'll reach out to that old friend when I have more free time. I'll write that book when I'm more inspired. It's easy to make plans for a future that hasn't happened yet, but that future is not guaranteed. Life is unpredictable, and you can't assume you'll always have more time. The reality is, every moment you waste is a moment you can't get back. Procrastination is like a thief. It steals your opportunities, your dreams, and your potential. Each time you put something off, you're robbing yourself of a chance to grow, to learn, or to connect with others. You might think that you're avoiding discomfort by procrastinating, but in truth, you're creating a future full of regrets. Think about the times you've procrastinated. How often has it led to a better outcome? How many times have you felt that relief of avoiding something, only to realize later that it would have been better to act sooner? Procrastination creates a domino effect. The more you delay, the more you feel overwhelmed by what you haven't done. The tasks pile up, the relationships grow distant, and the dreams fade away. To live a fulfilling life, you must be willing to take action. It's not enough to dream or plan. You have to do something about it. The people who achieve their goals aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who take consistent action, even when it's hard. Consider those who have achieved great things. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. They knew that every second counts and they made the most of it. They understood that success isn't about finding the right time, it's about making the time right by taking action. To live in the moment, you need to change your mindset. You have to understand that the present is all you have. You can't change the past and you can't control the future, but you can make the most of the here and now. Start by asking yourself a simple question. What would you do if you knew you only had a limited amount of time left? Would you keep putting things off, or would you act with urgency? Would you spend more time with loved ones, pursue your passions, and take risks? If the answer is yes, then why wait? The only difference between today and that hypothetical situation is your perspective. One of the biggest reasons people procrastinate is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. But fear is just an illusion. It's your mind's way of keeping you safe, but it also keeps you stuck. To live in the moment, you have to face your fears and take action despite them. Think of failure not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. Failure is a natural part of growth. Every successful person has failed at some point, but they didn't let it stop them. They used their failures as learning opportunities, stepping stones on the path to success. Comfort zones are another obstacle to living in the moment. It's easy to stay where you feel safe, but growth doesn't happen there. To truly live, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone and embrace the unknown. This means taking risks, trying new things, and pushing yourself to do what scares you. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're not really living, you're just existing. You're missing out on the incredible experiences that come with taking chances. Think about the moments in your life that have had the most impact. Chances are they happened when you stepped outside your comfort zone, when you took a leap of faith. Living in the moment also means building strong relationships with the people around you. Too often we take our loved ones for granted, assuming they'll always be there. But relationships require effort and attention. If you're not present in the lives of those you care about, those relationships will wither away. Think about the people in your life who matter most to you. When was the last time you really listened to them? When was the last time you spent quality time together without distractions? Living in the moment means being fully present with the people you love, making time for them, and showing them that they matter. Ultimately, living in the moment is about creating a life of purpose. It's about doing things that matter to you and making a difference in the world. You don't have to change the entire world to live with purpose. You just need to do something that gives your life meaning. Ask yourself what you're passionate about. What makes you feel alive? What do you want to be remembered for? These are the questions that guide you toward a life of purpose. When you have a sense of purpose, you're more motivated to live in the moment because you know that every action you take contributes to something bigger. The ultimate goal is to live without regrets. Regrets come from missed opportunities, unfulfilled dreams, and relationships that were never nurtured. By living in the moment, you can avoid those regrets. You can look back on your life and know that you made the most of every opportunity, that you didn't let fear hold you back, and that you lived with purpose. So, where do you start? You start by taking the first step, no matter how small. If there's something you've been putting off, do it now. If there's someone you need to reconnect with, call them today. If there's a dream you've been ignoring, start working on it this very moment. Living in the moment isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about moving forward, even if it's just one step at a time. Every step you take brings you closer to the life you want, the relationships you value, and the dreams you're pursuing. Remember, the only time you have is now. If you want to live a life without regrets, you have to embrace the present and make the most of every moment. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow might not come. Live today like it's your last, because one day it will be.